one of the quotes that I love to use. And that's, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive.
And that is so spot on again, because that could be the motto of your human design chart. Do what you love, come alive. And it doesn't matter what others want from you, because you will be alive, and that is what is most wanted.
Magnificence is the boundless expanse of being, a liberation from limitation. It is the embodiment of authenticity, where you shed the shackles of self-doubt, shame, and imposter syndrome. Here, worthiness flourishes like a vibrant garden where you have the power to determine your actions, destinations, and your closest relationships. In the realm of magnificence, creative individuality takes center stage. Your greatness is acknowledged, celebrated, and nurtured. Gone are the days of mindless conformity or fitting in just to keep the peace. This show and your host, Patricia Lindner, are here to guide you as you align with your authentic design, leading the way to a life of purpose and fulfillment. Magnificence is not some unreachable peak or distant dream. It's inside you, waiting to shine brighter than you ever thought possible. Welcome to your magnificence.
Hello, everyone. This is another episode of Magnificence, the empowerment podcast, where we strike a match and shine the light on the magnificence of its guests. And today, I have with me the amazing and magnificent Cathy Derksen. Hello, Cathy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Patricia. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being on the show. First of all, I would love to introduce you to the audience and talk a little bit about who you are and what you do. And then maybe you want to dive deeper into what I share with the audience, if this is okay for you.
Sure.
Super. So Cathy is the founder of her company, and the company is called Inspired Tenacity Global Solutions Incorporated. She is a disruptor and catalyst dedicated to improving the lives of women in her community and around the world. Cathy helps women rediscover their brilliance, find their voice, and step into new possibilities in their life. Cathy is an international speaker and 11 times #1 bestselling author, with stories that inspire the readers to take a leap of faith into reaching for their big goals. She has created a platform supporting women to share their own inspiring stories and wisdom in collaborative books. In her program, Cathy takes you from chapter concept to published best-selling author in a simple but exciting way and process. Welcome again to the show, Cathy.
Thank you.
11 times #1 best-selling author. This in itself is more than magnificent. How did you do that? Just give us a little insight into that.
One step at a time. Yes, no, I've been contributing to books since 2019. And when I did my first book, I really had no goal or plan to make a habit of it or to do a whole collection. But one thing you'll discover as you get into publishing and into books, that it really does open up windows. It opens up doors. It opens up opportunities that you never even saw before. So after I'd finished the first book, it led into the second and third book. And suddenly I was getting invitations and offers to, come be in this book with us. Oh, now we're doing that book. So through those 11 books, I've worked with 7 different publishing groups. Mm-hmm. And I now focus most of my time and energy on creating new books for more people to jump into being authors. So I love it so much. I'm now making it available to everyone else.
That is great. That is great. Such a big mission you are on. And so do you still write books, or now you turned into forming a community of potential best-selling authors? or are you still writing your own things, your own books?
Well, it varies. So all of the books I've been in are all what I call collaborative books. So anthologies, multi-author books. So they're all a collection of authors come together on a theme. And so most of my books have 20, 25 people in them from my global community. And so up until this last little while, I've been contributing a chapter into each of the books that I've been involved in. But now that I'm doing this as one of my own big projects, I'm bringing it to different communities that I'm not necessarily part of. Mm-hmm. So one of the books that I've got just getting going right now is focused on widows. Mm-hmm. So it will be widows sharing their journey of what that experience was like, how they got through that, really supporting other widows who are reading the book to learn their tools and strategies and build community. So in that case, that's a book that I am not experienced in, so I cannot be one of the contributing authors, but I'm honored to be the one that's bringing it together to make this opportunity available for those women to step into that. So now it really is a combination. So if it's a theme that I feel called to share my story on, then I will contribute to the book as well. Otherwise, I'll focus more on doing the introduction or the foreword, or even just being, like I said, the one creating that opportunity for others.
That is so fabulous. And you said several times it is about you form the community, you bring people together. And before we dive into your amazing human design chart, I just shared this little secret. I also looked into your gene keys that are a part of the human design. So really, this is going into the details. But now I need to share it because you talk so much about you being the catalyst and the one who forms this community. So your conscious sun sign, and I'm going to point that out when we share the chart, is Gene Key 55, and this is about creating abundance through cooperation. Creating abundance through cooperation. So yours is 55.1, and this is abundance through cooperation. That means abundance of every sort. That could be monetary abundance, but I bet and I totally believe that you create more than just the monetary abundance, but abundance for the women who participate in your projects. Is that right?
Yes. No, actually, that's a perfect description. And, over the last couple of years that I've been an entrepreneur and really fine-tuning what is my gift and what am I bringing, I really, listening to my intuition and my gut, I've really been led to that conclusion that my role is the connector and the lifter, the one that brings people together and supports them through their journey.
Wow.
And so it's really kind of interesting because you're right that I would say what I'm bringing is abundance in many ways. And especially with my focus, particularly on midlife women, where I find so many are just feeling stuck and lost and not sure what to do for the next 30 years of their life. And so to be able to help them step into something that excites and inspires and brings them new passion, there is so much abundance, so many different levels and layers of what I would call abundance that is bringing into their life. And one of my new book projects right now is called Ripple Effect of Impact. And that's exactly what that is all about, is how can I create that ripple that now starts reaching out beyond where I'll ever imagine it can go, and really, impacting that bigger world. So, no, I love your reading there. It's spot on.
Beautiful. And now I'm going to share the chart to share with you where I saw this. So this is your complete human design chart, body graph, so to speak. And what I talked about was this teeny tiny little number, 55.1, which is the exponent, and the 55 is abundance, and 55.1 is abundance through cooperation. And you could dive into that. That's just touching the surface. But I was not sure if there is a good a point to mention this. But now that you mentioned community so often, I thought like this is a major aspect of who you are. And this is what you are here to do. Just looking at this is like overarching the whole chart and really pointing towards this theme and topic. And so you are right, spot on your mission to create abundance for those women and to cooperate with them. So then, as you said to me, you never had a look at your human design chart. I would love to share a little bit about the chart, a little bit about the basics. I don't do that in every episode that I air, but you are a manifesting generator. And that makes a lot of sense. When people go to your website, they could see the multiple projects that you are working on, and a manifesting generator, or they call the manifesting generator time bender, is someone who is really doing a lot of things at the same time, always busy with stuff, always curious about so many things, being active, being busy, being involved, reading several books at a time, being engaged in several projects. And this is what lights the manifesting generator up. If someone came and told you, hey, Cathy, just focus on one book and one thing, then this is something that would not light you up. So this is just the generator in a nutshell.
That's very true.
Oh, really? So I don't know, how many projects have you available right now, running right now around writing a book?
Oh, I think we're at 6 right now.
Yeah, and then I bet there are many other things that you're involved in. We are going to talk about that later. And just talking about this manifesting generator that deals with so many projects and so many things, that is someone who can do the work because you're so powerful and you can bring things into existence. That is the manifesting part. I want to share something with you, and I want to use the magnifying glass to make it a bit bigger. So just going right here. It should show up bigger for you, right?
Yep.
Super. So you see this line that goes down there, the red line, that's gate 11. And gate 11 is all about having numerous ideas. You will never, ever be running out of ideas which come to you visually. I don't know if this rings true for you. They oftentimes come in visuals. So I wonder, and I would love to ask you, how do you come up with all those projects, the 6 projects? How do you come up with topics for the books? This is when I looked at gate 11.
I would say learning to listen to my intuition and really just follow what comes to me. And so far, this has been really interesting, what you're telling me about my numbers and how you would describe me, because it shows me that in listening to my intuition, I have been going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So that I love that. And I would say most of the ways that I'm bringing new projects together is through listening and kind of bringing in what others are telling me. So really getting a feel for what are they asking for? What are those opportunities? One of the new projects that is also in the works to come in a little while is focused on the environment, sustainability, and the planet, and what are women especially doing to shift that and to protect and inform and educate and that sort of thing. So again, I find myself absorbing what comes to me from other people and then bringing it to life, manifesting, as you would say. And yes, I definitely am one who, I guess as an empath, I do absorb what's coming at me from others. And when it's something creative and productive, it's nice to be able to bring that to life. And I am slowly learning, again, as an empath, that I need to be protecting myself from other energies that might be coming towards me. But I think I am getting much better at sifting through those and picking out what are those creative, positive things and ideas, and how do I bring them to life. So, no, I love what you're telling us here. It's all fitting just right.
Yeah, and so I am so wowed because you said you never had a look at your chart, you never had a human design chart reading, and now what all new to me, you just said you are sort of responding to your outer environment, what people say, through deep listening, keeping your eyes, your ears open, and then reacting to that. And that is so spot on. That is exactly your way to create well-being and abundance for your life, responding to something that truly lights you up and that you feel that lights up other people. And so combine that and bring these ideas into existence. So this is so spot on. And I can't believe you are like naturally aligned with your human design. So why don't we look into the chart again for more information about your magnificence? So I need to make this bigger because there is an aspect that I totally want to focus on. And maybe make it smaller over there. And you have a bigger picture.
The whole thing now.
Yes. So now you see the whole thing, but you don't see all the numbers. Just sharing it with you and maybe with anyone who didn't watch the other episodes so far. Whenever there is a white center, that means this is an open center. And you have a balance between open and defined centers. So all the white centers are open. That means these are the centers, the energetic centers in your body that have something like antennas to the outside. That is energy you pull in from the outside, information you get from the outside. These are, and you mentioned it, and that's why I want to touch upon this. This is also something where people could manipulate you, where conditioning can take place. And whenever someone wants to heal or overcome something, we oftentimes look into the openness of the human design, because oftentimes there is something that can be deconditioned. And on the other hand, openness allows you, as the word says, to really tune into the other people under certain aspects or certain perspectives, of course, and to really grab some information from outside, tune into the other person, and use this as your superpower. I do not want to focus on the openness today because I found so much magnificence in your definedness. And one of the defined things, centers that I want to talk about is the throat. And I bet this is not something that is surprising to you. As you said, you are not just an author, but you are a speaker. And we didn't talk about that. I would love to focus on your throat and pull this a bit smaller. So looking at the throat as it is defined, that means there is color inside. That means that you are no one who feels uncomfortable when speaking. You are someone who has a certain way of speaking, who is pretty confident in speaking, who likes speaking. So there is no fear around speaking, which makes a lot of sense. As you said, you are a speaker. And I just think about which way we do it. Should I let you share something about your speaking, or maybe share a little bit about what comes up without knowing? Because I don't know anything about your speaking activities. So maybe that's interesting, what I share and what you say.
Yes. No, it is interesting that you point that out, because that is definitely an area that I know there's a lot of energy and kind of presence there. And it's interesting how I think my nature is one to stand up and speak out, and especially in supporting and lifting those around me. But I know throughout my life, I've developed habits of shrinking and kind of disappearing into the background in, just through things that happen in life and different relationships that you're in and that sort of thing. So that I think that's something that I've really been working through over the last, say, 5 or 10 years. Whereas before I might have been more, sticking with being quietly in the background. And I think that's what it is. It's that as I kind of get to know my real self more, I know that that's one of my callings, is to step up and stand out and connect and lift those around me. So I think that's what a big part of it, that I'm kind of in this transition between the me that came about through my environment and the relationships I've been in through my life versus the real me.
Yeah. And I am so happy that it turns out this way, because oftentimes you can hear when someone has an open throat, like undefined, it is said that people with the undefined throat, they shy away from speaking, they disappear, they put on this cloak of invisibility, they don't speak up, they are silent. It doesn't have to be that way. There is a tendency, of course. At the same time, and that is so great, because now you can see there is a lot of magnificent knowledge in this. You have this defined throat, and it is made for speaking. Your throat is made for speaking, for showing up. This does not automatically mean that people with a defined throat can speak their truth all the time, but it means that you can leverage this skill by trainings, by public speaking trainings, or even events that you participate in, by developing your own speaking style, by doing live videos, or maybe Facebook lives, or whatever feels comfortable for you, maybe creating a LinkedIn live, by just training this skill and knowing that this is part of your magnificence. You are meant to speak. Number 23 is a gate that is you being amazing and using details. Speaking about details makes you have a grounded voice and a practical voice. So whenever you speak in a detailed way, you have this voice of reason, if this makes sense.
Yes, sure.
And so are you a lover of details?
I would say so. My background is in sciences, and I think that's part of it, that curiosity and that digging into the why, and what makes it work. And
yeah, makes a lot of sense. And gate number 20 is the gate of the now, which is very interesting. And I would love to pull it bigger, but it doesn't work right now. So let's just talk about gate 20, the gate of the now, the gate of the, just listen, collaborator. It's the gate of the collaborator, someone who is able to speak from the moment and has this gift of knowing when to manifest power and inspire others to connect people and to connect resources. So this is a big ability for someone who surrounds themselves with other people and speaks in a community or speaks when it comes to collaboration. So these are the two gates that are turned on in your throat center. And
Perfect.
I think especially the latter makes a lot of sense. But maybe also the other one when it comes to the details, because when you produce books in this process, it is something that needs to be done in a detailed way, I bet.
Yes, and a lot of that, though, I leave to the publishing team that I work with that does all of the real details of that side of things.
Okay. And so let's retry if it lets us. I share without magnifying glass, then it lets us share the whole chart. So you see the 20th gate, which I just shared about, the gate of the now, speaking in the now and activating the power. You see, when you go down there, it lands in the sacral. So that means you are the archetype of the manifesting generator that can manifest actions through words, empower and inspire others by doing what you really love. So a connection between the sacral and the throat again means manifesting actions through the power of your words.
Perfect.
Yeah. And so this was the speaking part. So I would love to learn about events, or where do you speak? Can people book you to speak? What is your passion around speaking? How can I imagine, or what can I imagine when you talk about you're a speaker? I would love to learn more about that.
Well, right now, a lot of what I'm doing is mainly summits and podcasts like yours and connecting with different communities that way. I've been doing some panels, some educational type panels as well. But my vision going forward is to do more going places and meeting groups in person and doing more speaking engagements. And again, going back to that kind of really helping women reignite their life and step into new things. I feel that's where my energy is. That's where my kind of real calling with my speaking is, to bring that spark back into the lives of so many people. So that's what's coming. So yes, I would definitely love any virtual opportunities. Right now, I'm not doing a lot of traveling far from home. I got a puppy that needs me here. But definitely any virtual opportunities on podcasts and summits and other events, I would love to jump in.
Yeah, and anything that you can think you can turn into an action and you can manifest it. You're a manifesting generator. Maybe you are the next TEDx speaker. You are 11 times best-selling author, Cathy. So I can imagine you being a TEDx speaker around an amazing subject that comes from your heart. Totally.
Yes, that's definitely in the future.
Yeah.
In the works.
Super. So you talked about what you do and your projects, the 6 opportunities to participate in a multi-author book. If people who are watching this show are interested in learning more about that, what should they do? What do you recommend? How can they reach out to you?
Well, as far as social media goes, LinkedIn is where I'm most active. My website is pretty simple. So it's just inspiredtenacity.com. tenacity.com. And on there, I've got links to my new projects they can jump into. I've got links to my previous books if they want to get more information about them or jump right over to Amazon to purchase them. That's all there. And so that's probably the simplest way to get a lot of information. My calendar is open if anyone would like to jump on a Zoom and chat more about their goals as an author or as a woman sparking new life into the women around us. I would love to jump on a connection call, and those are the simplest ways to find me.
And I can highly recommend connecting with you. We had such an amazing conversation, a deep conversation, and I am totally inspired by the work you do, and I love that you are on the show. Now, just for the last part to wrap it up, is there anything that comes to your mind that you would love to share with the audience? That could be something that is inspiring, that could be your little secret, that could be a tip, an inspiration, anything that comes to your mind that the world should hear right now.
Well, I think the thing that keeps coming back to me is one of the quotes that I love to use, and that's, don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. And to me, that just sums it up so much that, the more that we just keep doing life, but we're not feeling energized about it, it's like we're draining our energy. Whereas when we find those things that really make us feel and come alive, we start generating a whole new level of energy that is contagious, that gets spread out around us. And again, that ripple effect of, what are we bringing into the world?
And that is so spot on again, because that could be the motto of your human design chart. Do what you love, come alive. And it doesn't matter what others want from you, because you will be alive, and that is what is most wanted. That is so amazing. That is so great. Thank you for this little jam, for sharing this. This is an inspiration, and I love that you shared exactly this. Is there anything that you would love to share right now, Cathy?
Well, I really want to thank you for introducing me to the work that you're doing. I've never had this kind of reading before, or had someone really share these different calculations, and you'll have to tell me more about how you do this and how this all comes together. But it's really been amazing at how precisely what you're bringing fits what I'm feeling. And so, no, it's amazing. And I would definitely love to support you in your work any way I can.
Thank you so much. And for anyone who is watching, we just scratched the surface with what we did right now. But I want to use those 30 to 40 minutes to really put my audience, my guests into the limelight, that you can see how amazing each and every one is that is on my show. Cathy, thank you so much for being on the show, for sharing your amazing work and sharing about your life. It was such a pleasure to have you. And yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. It's definitely been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for watching this episode. I hope to see you in another episode when it comes to Magnificence, the empowerment podcast that shines a light on the magnificence of its guests. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for this empowering episode. To continue this journey of aligning with your true purpose and uncovering your magnificence, schedule an illumination call with Patricia at patricialindner.com. Please share this episode with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the show on YouTube and your favorite podcasting platform. Join us again soon for another episode of Magnificence.